What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Call of Dragons. From the team that brought you the Rise of Kingdoms, we've got an MMO fantasy conquest game that is pretty dang fun, and today we're going to walk you through everything you need to know to just hop right in. Now, as you start the game, you get to pick between one of three factions. You're going to be looking at humans, elves, and orcs, and I will be representing the League of Order, which actually, in my opinion, I think is the best faction to pick and start, and I'm not just saying that. Now, what really sold me on the League of Order is each faction comes with a designated commander, a hero, and Waldir is going to be the wizard that we get as our captain, and this guy, he's definitely better than the other ones, in my opinion. He's going to focus on PvP, which is a large part of this game. It is interactive with other real players, and you guys will see that here in a moment. Waldir has the benefit of having magic at his side, too. And if you've played MOBAs before, it's always great to attack your opponents from a distance, using abilities and keeping yourself a safe distance from harm's way. And Waldir does a pretty dang good job at that. Now, in addition to Waldir, we also have access to Workhorses, which is an awesome unit exclusive to the League of Order. You get more resource bonuses, better defense, and again, this is the PvP faction if that's what you're all about. Now, Call of Dragons is a city-building war game, is the best way to simplify it, a real-time strategy, and there's so much coming at you when you first hop in, so we're going to go ahead and walk you through some of the basics that you can just jump right in and download the game. You'll be building up your civilization, collecting resources, exploring the map with your scouts, and upgrading and gathering heroes to help you on your conquest. Now, of course, there's like raids and things you can do with other players and your friends. But for the first bit, I want to just say you probably want to focus on the things around you and get a good feeling of the game. Let's go ahead and take a dive into the city and what it looks like and how it all works. Now, when you pick your alliance, some things come with that, right? And with the human race, I get a more modern look to my civilization, whereas if you pick the orcs or the elves, you'll be getting a much different look. Now, my faction does excel at gathering resources, which helps me out in the early game, and this is going to be my faction. Now, it's a little messy, but you know what? It works for me. Everything you do starts here. We're going to be building our troops, building and getting things to gather resources. And then, of course, everything runs through the main Hall of Order here that you can upgrade, and then it allows you to upgrade your other buildings. We have things to go ahead and scout the surrounding map, which we'll get to in a moment. We have ways to build up knights in different units, and as you zoom into these, you can actually interact with a lot of the characters and things that roam around your civilization. But of course, if you want to go ahead and train up some knights, you can go in here, grab some knights, and get them training, and of course, come back, gather them, and go off to war. However, while you're doing that, you have plenty of things to do, right? You can go ahead and research new items and things for your buildings. You can build a wall. You can go and gather resources. So there's plenty to keep you kind of occupied. And of course, as you build things, it'll go ahead and take some time to get these things going, right? But the good news is the queues are actually not that bad. You get plenty of these time reduction resources, which is also very nice. And this is kind of the core base of the game and where it starts. Now, we do have to talk about the map. It's kind of baffling how huge this is. Like, here's my kingdom, and here's kind of my immediate neck of the woods. But if you keep going out, you notice it just doesn't stop. I mean, there's plenty of things to explore, and all these things give you resources, and you can go there and conquer them. And they didn't want to make just like a regular map. To be honest, when I first jumped in the game, this was the first thing that caught my eye, was just how big the map was. And there's like a lot of like notable points of interest, right? So there's bosses, we'll get to that. But guys, look how huge this map is. I mean, I haven't explored. A lot of it's foggy at the moment. But when it comes to like points of interest, these are for like quests, and you can also have your troops come over here and explore it. And like, for example, this is the Mount Tempest, right? And there's things that you can go ahead and challenge and gather here instead. But there's multitude of these, right? You've got the lava region, you have a desert, you have frozen tundras. There's a bunch of different kinds of styles of terrain. And depending on where you want to go and roam to, you might, discover different things. Now, there's also things called behemoths, and this is a big part. Kind of think raids if you come from games that feature those. And you'll be teaming up with your alliance, myself, your friends, whatever it might be, and you go and try to tackle these giant creatures. Now, if you take these down, you get rewarded with a ton of different things and resources that you can use to upgrade. And truly, there's so much to do. I like that you start small in your civilization, and as you explore and you get more into the quest, things just open up more and more. You can go ahead and go here, and this gives you kind of a basic rundown of the quest to get more resources. You can go here, which is the Trail of Dragons, which is really cool stuff, or Dragon Trail. And you can go over and complete these kind of smaller missions to get loot, and you use this loot to go ahead and unlock more resources. And everything is kind of funneled down to the combat, the heroes, and just everything you'll need to know about that. So let's go ahead and hop in and break down how combat and heroes work in the game. Now, as I stated before, Waldir is my hero, and again, I truly think he's the best for beginners, so I would pick Legal Order, just saying. But all the other heroes you can collect, but the one that you do pick, the faction you pick, you get a little bit more to get them going. Now, it's pretty in-depth with where it goes and how you can go ahead and build up your character, your hero. Obviously, Waldir is great at magic, PvP, and skills. You can level them up through things that you collect via resources and taking them into combat. Again, think like your basic games where you go in, you combat, you get experience, and you build up your hero. Also, you have a talent tree that if you come from something like an Elder Scrolls game or whatever, this is very similar. Kind of crazy. There's you got to build up your traits and your tracks, and obviously as you build up, you get bigger and better bonuses for your character. If you're into magic, PvP, skills, depending on what you're into, you can go down that path as you level up to get better and better bonuses. Really cool stuff, and you can kind of reset it at any time. Outside of talents, your characters have skills. You can use these skills in combat, and these are kind of skill shots. You'll be seeing how combat works in a moment, but by using these skills, you can go ahead and inflict a good amount of damage on whatever you're trying to fight. Now, one thing to note as well is these skill shots I just talked about, you get an artifact that you can use, and they do different things throughout the battle. There are a lot of these, so much that I couldn't believe like how many different kind of customizations. Everybody's character is probably going to be a little bit different. If you go here, you can see all the artifacts. And again, these are all going to be doing different things with different stats. And you can equip these to your best characters and swap them out pretty easily. Now, as you play and as you progress, I'm up to level 10 here. You unlock more and more. And again, you do so by exploring your surroundings, right? So I could go take these two down. They're higher level than me, so I'm going to avoid that. But if I wanted to go and fight Darkling patrols, I could do that to start getting resources. These guys are going to give me keys, which is how you get new heroes. And I'll be honest, I have a surplus of these keys. I think they're pretty easy to get, at least at first. What's nice is if there's nothing in your nearby neighborhood or, you know, if something bad happens, you can go ahead and just search and find something more your level. So if I'm looking for a level 12 or a dark creature, I can go ahead and search for it. It'll spawn one on the map. And then I can go ahead and send my troops over to go and take it down. Now, how combat works is we're going to go to press attack. We're going to create a legion, which you can make multiple of these, but we're just going to make one. And you have, this is where we're going to be using our main character here. You can switch them out, but this is my highest level, so we're definitely going to be using Waldir here to kick some tail. Now, as you can see, these are my troops that I can use right now with him to go into battle. And I like to tag him up with mages because he's a mage himself. And we can go ahead, grab my troops, and start marching to battle. Now, he truly, it marches, right? So they're actually actively going to where this character is going to be. And you can simply just click on this at any time and see where they're at. And again, since we have the benefits of being long range, we should be pretty good. We don't have to worry about other enemies. They don't attack me at the moment, which is nice. And here are my troops. Even though it doesn't look like I have 1,000, trust me, there's thousands of them there. So here we go. We're starting to attack, right? And we're going to go ahead and use our special ability, which is we're in some trees here. But as you can see, my special ability took off way more health than just like my basic attacks. And it goes on cooldown, sort of like any ability games that you have played. And of course, Waldir kicks some tail as always, and we were able to get some nice resources, right? So in a nutshell, that's kind of how battles work. But let's call up one more and just see if I go to a level 13 compared to level 10, just how hard it is, right? I don't know about you guys, but every game's leveling is a little bit different. In Call of Dragons, the leveling is a big deal. Essentially, if something is even one level above you, you're probably going to get your tail kicked. I died more than once trying to take down something I had no business going up against. But that was kind of the fun surprise element and the adventure feel of the game itself. It does tell you, like, the chance that you have. Like, is it a fair fight? Is it not? I would probably guess this is not going to be a fair fight. But again, my cooldown has gone down, which is great. And we can use that again. And because it's long distance, we have low defense. But we're going to try our best to try to kill him before he kills our guys. You can see our health right down here. And at the moment, it's not looking good, guys. He's got pretty much all of his health. Waldir, come on. We can also move him around and dodge bigger attacks, right? So there is skill shots involved. It's not just auto-attacking. I can create another legion to come help, but at this moment, we might want to call our losses. We haven't even done a dent to this guy. I'm telling you guys, levels matter here. So Waldir, again, not looking great. Not looking great, Waldir. Yeah. we died. So, you see, I kind of lost all of my troops because I got attacked and I tried to attack and it didn't go well. So, you can go to the hospital here and heal up your troops. Very easy. It's not like a lose it if you use it kind of scenario, or at least at first, like I said. And you can come here and just train them plenty, right? If you want to go ahead and use speed ups, you can. But you better get used to dying because you'll be going up against some behemoths, which is like the giant creatures to take down with your alliance. And right now, there's a good amount of them. And again, these are the ones you want to target. We've got like crazy creatures. And again, look at the graphics. Not too shabby, right? So you can take these on as you progress through your resource and civilizations to build up your armies. And again, I'll be honest, didn't spend anything. And I found it pretty easy to start really upping my armies, my resources. Loads of different characters and troops. You have legendary, epic. Most of the time, you're probably going to have more epics. But I did pull a legendary quite easily. And whether you're into, again, elves, human, orcs, pretty much everything you can look for. But one thing I'll say is the character design is honestly phenomenal. The graphics are impressive, both far away and up close. So you can have something like this Mad Bomber here, who is going to be a little bit different in combat, and he flies, right, compared to an archer. Or you can have somebody that's, you know, up close and going to hit him with an axe. And so a little bit different on the combat and how that works. And depending on what you focus on, again, you'll see very quickly that it's important to learn how that combat truly works. And you're going to need it because these battles can get absolutely massive, as you guys can see here. So buckle up and get ready for a crazy experience. Now, again, I want to thank today's sponsor, Call of Dragons, for help supporting the channel as we dived into the new game. I will be jumping into it, and if you want to go ahead and find my alliance, I'll go ahead and put that down in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. You can find everything you need to download the game in the description and in the comments. You guys have a good one, have a great one, and until the next one, we'll see you soon.